Hey guys, this is Jacoby filming another Wednesday with the Trans Tubers. This week we are talking about trans shaming. Sorry this video is late like last week's was. I've been so incredibly busy with my job, it's ridiculous. It is taking a lot of man hours. I don't have time really to even spend with my fiance, and it's a lot of unnecessary BS that's thrown in my way just to make uh, life and what I do for a living better. So right now I think it's unnecessary, but in the outcome it's going to be good. But I'm not happy about it. Anyway, somebody made a comment about not seeing me without a hat. So me without a hat. So yeah. Um, but we'll get back into trans shaming. Um, there's a lot of different ways somebody could put shame on an individual. A lot of it is just hating them for being different. You know, there's so many ways that hate could be thrown out there, but all in all, it just comes out with the outcome that there are bullies out there, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, what religion you're from, what town and what country you're from, how you were raised, whatever. There's bullies for all of those people in any sort of spectrum. And it's really unfortunate that anybody has to deal with any sort of hatred. Like I said in last week's video, I really feel that if everyone could just be accepting that there are different people without the world, with throughout the world. Sorry, I'm really exhausted, but there are different people throughout our world, and we could all accept and love one another. The world would be a better place. But until that happens, we're going to see hate no matter where we go. And it's unfortunate that it's happening within our little community. And, I'm not necessarily calling it a little community, but when you look at the breakdown, the trans community is a lot smaller than, say, the heterosexual community, lesbian communities, ones that do not feel like they are intersex or transsexual or anything like that. There's a difference with anybody who falls within the little in betweens of the spectrum, because you have, male and you have female, but everything in between these two, there's so many that you can't even imagine. And it's unfortunate to see somebody who falls in the spectrum of being, like, for example, being a lesbian and hating on a transgender person. um it's kind of sad because that person is within the community and who has probably had to deal with hatred themselves because they're not straight. You know, they like the same sex that they are, or they appear to be. And, it's really sad that people spend their lives trapped in looking at what's black and white and not looking at all the beautiful shades of gray in between. Um, you know, like Hussein was talking about in his videos. Dirt. Everybody calls him Dirt. Oh, excuse me, her Dirt, who obviously looks like a man and wants to appear a man and guaranteed gets called sir and everything. And I bet it downright boils her blood. But you know what? It kind of makes me feel a little bit happy if she ever gets misgendered, because she's a self proclaimed feminist and activist and what have you. But to be hating within your own community, fuck you. You've probably dealt with hatred. You've probably dealt with the discrimination of not appearing to be feminine and being a lady and everything like that. Guaranteed you've had to deal with that. Well, we who are female bodied, whether we be, you know, cisgendered females or whether we be cisgender males or anything in between, that lovely black and white that you see, you don't realize that you're just adding on to the bullcrap that we see daily. If it isn't enough that we have to deal with our body dysphoria, that we have to deal with people making remarks, misgendering us, making us feel like we are nothing. We are people. We're human beings. Treat us like human beings. Nothing's going to change that. You know, medical science has given us an opportunity to enhance our bodies safely with, physicians watching us constantly, giving us hormones to where we could appear to be what we have always felt we were on the inside. Yay for science. But don't dog that. That's like acting like like the people who are anti-Darwin and, the anti-evolution. Like evolution didn't happen. Well, whether you believe evolution didn't happen or not, yes, there are sapiens and we are Homo sapiens and what have you. We're all human beings. Whether we are yellow, polka dotted, straight, lesbian, or transgender, and anything that falls between that spectrum of being a human being and your sexuality, congrats to you. You know what your identity is, but people fight tooth and nail to survive. And, one question that guaranteed, I'm positive, hasn't been asked to you, and I'm calling you out on it because I'm sure you're watching this video, and your blood is boiling because I called you he earlier. Dirt, I'm wondering, are you hiding an issue that you think you might be having? Do you think you're male on the inside? Because all the hatred that the trans guys are getting from you are like the bullies that, bully the gay kid, but then they turn out to be a big flaming homo themselves. Yes, you're proud of who you are. Yeah, you're a feminist, but you know what? You kind of look like a Vietnam vet. A male who has a high and tight and everything like that, and guaranteed you get misgendered, just like we do. And I bet it boils your blood like it does to us. But because of medical science, we have decided to devote our lives to changing our bodies to where we finally feel whole, like the puzzle is finally complete. And if you don't like it, then shut up. You don't have to deal with it. Just ignore it. But guaranteed with medical science, we're going to be everywhere. And I really hope that you encounter somebody that you have in your future, and you're going to think that they are cisgendered like you are. You're going to become rather close to them, and then they're going to open up to you and have the deep, dark secret of the fact that they were the opposite gender than they appear. I really hope that happens to you. I really hope that you finally see what kind of hatred you're bringing upon us within your own eyes. I want you to feel the discrimination that you put upon us. I'm very vindictive, I guess, because I don't feel like it's just. I don't feel like you're doing anyone a favor by hating on somebody within your own community. I think it makes you look like an idiot and imbecile. And if there was a way to block the internet and block some stupid shit that people have to say, I hope you're one of the first people on that list. I'm sure it upsets you to the core when you hear about suicides and other things like that, because they could have been saved, they could be living and everything like that. Would you rather a bunch of us transgendered people floating around, or would you prefer more suicides? Would you prefer to look at it in a martyr perspective, or would you prefer to see it in a Hitler perspective? Because either way, you sound like an idiot, and it's quite sad because you either want things to be ran by one person who has one opinion and one state of mind and what have you, or you would rather have it of, this person couldn't just be happy being a lesbian. I never felt like I was a lesbian. I identified as it because that was the only way that I could conform to where, I couldn't call myself straight because I didn't like males. I didn't want to sleep with them or anything like that. But, and then it goes like, the whole you didn't have a father, or you hate your mom, so you want to be like your father or whatever. Yeah, I absolutely admire my father. He was a great man. Do I want to be him? No. Do I hate my mother? Absolutely not. My mother raised me with a great head on my shoulders, the confidence that helped me live when I was so upset about not being how I felt and hidden all these years. It was one of the things that kept me alive. So, yeah, trans shaming everybody. Um, what are the viewers' perspectives on shaming in general? Whether it be, whatever you fall under in your little, um, in our little social umbrella of being, whether you are, heterosexual but you support the gay lifestyle, or if you're any of the beautiful shades of gray that are in the black and white spectrum that the older generations only tend to see. How do you feel when you're hated on within, by someone who is within your own community? Somebody who has probably had to deal with prejudice themselves, who, is looked at differently because of who they love. We're all humans, we're all capable of love. And I feel we should all be viewed that way, not how we identify or how we appear to be. And, that we're just upset lesbians that, aren't happy with their bodies, and we believe in breast ironing and, hormones and what have you, and being a part of the medical machine. That's all bullshit. Yeah, we see that science has come up with ways that we could change it, and we devote our lives to changing that so we could live happier, productive, fuller lives. Because, all in all, if you tell half of these people they aren't who they want to be, and they can't be who they want to be, there would be more depression and suicides. There would be more criticism of how they live their lives. And then, aren't we all, like, all in all, aren't we fighting for equality? And, another question to Dirt. Haven't you ever been so upset that you love somebody, but you can't marry them because it falls under that it's against the sanctity of marriage? You know, are you going to be upset when you find that partner and later on in life that partner gets sick and you can't visit them in the hospital because you're not considered family, because you had a union rather than a marriage? Do you hate the prejudice that is put upon you because you look male but you're a female? It must boil your blood to realize that there are people who have the same convictions as you, But we do this because sometimes it's no other option. Sometimes we basically have our mouths around the barrel of a shotgun and it's either pull the trigger or not. And I decided to pull the trigger. I decided to make a change to make myself better. And if you can't deal with it, suck it. Because I'm happy and guaranteed anybody who has ever been ridiculed by dirt or by anyone for being who they are, after the initial sting of being hated on for who they are, they feel good about themselves because they stayed true to themselves, they stood by their convictions, and they still are the person that they are. They might be a little, scuffed up and feel like they've been beaten and feel a little defeated. But all in all, guaranteed they are just happy that they have finally accepted and understood who they really were and they're actually doing something about it. So, this video has been running long enough. I do apologize to anyone who believes that, how my opinions may have kind of jumped the line and what have you. But this is my video. This is how I live my life, and I'm going to address it the way that I want to. But I hope you all have a fantastic week. Don't work too hard. Don't party too hard. If you have any questions, feel free to jot them down below or put them in the side panelings. You could click on my link that says Jacoby, and it will take you to my Ask page on my Tumblr. Feel free to drop me an Ask box. If you want to speak to me more privately, put it down in the comments, and I will send you an email address and what have you. So, yeah, have a great week, y'all, and I'll see you on Wednesday.